Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports, we connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Travis Winfield is with us. And I'm just going to say Travis Winfield because he's got so much going on. And we're going to talk about it. But obviously, the one that we have to really thank him for, retired U.S. Navy Senior Chief. Welcome, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me, Ron. As always, my friend.
Glad to have you with us. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Now, you know, it's a challenge because I've done the celebrations of the day for, I don't know, a long time. I can't even remember how long. But the problem is I got on this weight loss journey and, you know, most of these things don't go along with my weight loss journey. If you want to follow the journey, rsrlinks.com/shot. But let's get with it. Having beaten anorexia, we'll start right here. National Chocolate Covered Pretzel Day. And yes, I do like chocolate covered pretzels. I don't know about all this. Well, these are, Josh, you got the good ones. Your kids must not have helped you with it because I know if my grandson was involved in this graphic, there'd have to be sprinkles on there. They tend to like, your kids don't like the sprinkles? No? Okay, so my grandson's a sprinkles guy, so okay, so I guess everyone to their own. Let's see what else. What else do we have going on here today? We've also got, I don't know why they do this one, Taco Tuesday. So it's National Taco Day, but it's celebrated the first Tuesday of October. If my wife had her choice, it would be two tacos every Tuesday, although she never has a problem with Mexican food. She loves that. And National Frappe Day. Now, I don't know if this one looks more like it's the, that's the drink. And I'm going to tell you right here, right now, if you were to limit having frappes only on National Frappe Day, it would be a whole lot wiser for your budget because we spend way too much money at that national chain. I can say it, it's Starbucks because they don't sponsor the show. So the idea here is, why do people spend so much money? And I did an unscientific study. Why do people spend so much money on coffee they don't like? And I'll tell you how I know they don't like it. Have you ever gone into a Starbucks and sat there and watched them? I want a coffee with 17 pumps of sugar and 3 pumps of milk and some vanilla. They mask the flavor. You know, if you have a good cup of coffee, do you have to mask the flavor? No, I don't think so. So why keep going back to get the coffee you don't like? That's my opinion, and I'm right. But let's move right along. Let's see what's going on in the world today. The markets, the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 189 points. The NASDAQ is down 174. S&P 500 is down 25. Oil prices, barrel of oil is down 20 cents a barrel. We're in California broadcasting right now. So even though the price is going down, it doesn't matter here. We've got Gavin. He likes to charge us more taxes and fees. $4.65 a gallon of gasoline, right? Here's the average in the state of California. $3.12 is the national average. Ours is going to go up. The Chevron refinery producing 25% of our gas here in California, having a fire. It's not going to really help us a whole lot. But you know something, I am going to rant today, and it's something that, yeah, you know, if you listen to Ron Siegel Radio, if you watch us at any given time, I rant on various issues. But you know, this is under my craw because it is October 7th. Now, for Jewish people, October 7th is the same as for American people, September 1st, right? If you think about it, September 11th, 9/11, 2001. I got the first in there, right? But if you think about it, on a relative basis, more people as a relation to the population were killed in Israel on October 7th than were killed in the United States on September 11th. And you got the person who I believe is going to be the next governor or the next mayor of New York coming out. And I don't know if you've been following this guy, Mandami. I mean, talk about the worst piece of garbage in the entire world. And yes, I said it. I don't care if people don't like it. But he came out today and said that October 7th was bad, but what Israel's doing is worse. Really? Now, let me ask you this. Other than maybe the United States, tell me one other country that says, hey, we're going to bomb you at this time, so if you're a civilian, get out of the way. Hey, we're going to bring you food until, you know, the leadership starts stealing it and selling it and scalping it. Who does that kind of thing? But Israel did and does. So when Mandami comes out and says that this is a genocide, I just say BS. You know, maybe he should go over there and try and live for a while, or maybe stay there. It'd be better for New York. It'd be better for America. You know, why do we have people like, and, you know, unfortunately, maybe with his comments today, and next to being in Israel, the largest Jewish population in the world is in New York City. How can these people even think about voting for this jerk? And on top of that, he's a communist. I mean, think about that. You got this guy that's got all of these ideas about the way the world should be, saying, and I'm going to say it right here. I've got 3 sons that are in their early 30s, same as Mandami. Now, I don't know about you. When I was in my late 20s and my 20s and early 30s, I was an idiot. Now, there's a lot of people that say I still am, but you know, you don't know squat about the world at that age. Right? I mean, and this guy wants to lead the largest city in America. So what is his solution? Free everything. Now, who pays for free everything? Right? That the transit district's going to be free. The subways are going to be free. They want the city to take over grocery stores. Now, if you think about that, in Kansas, they did that. They don't have food, but they took over the grocery stores. So do you like that idea, New York? And this is what you want to vote for. In the absence of any legitimate thought, people will go to idiots like Mandami. But he's getting money from California for his campaign. I better get off my soapbox. Let's get on with our broadcast. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to talk about things I like more. How about the military and how our friend Travis is helping educating military men and women. And we're going to talk about the down payment myth. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Hey, thanks for checking in, Travis Robinson. Good to see you watching us this morning. What is he on? He's on LinkedIn, I think he's checking in from. Great. So the Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends, rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. And every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you put in your mortgage calculator. It's the one that matters. It tells you what your principal and interest payment will be. If you don't have a mortgage calculator, go to the mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. What did rates do yesterday? Conventional 30-year fixed up 6.294. Jumbo 30-year fixed up 6.475. FHA 30-year fixed down 6.102. VA 30-year fixed, that was up 5.835. And the USDA 30-year fixed 6.051. Probably not a whole lot of USDA loans being done while the government is shut down. But let's continue with our journey. If you want our thoughts on the market, each and every business day morning, as early as the data allows, we do put out a report, and you can get that report for free. It's in the Ron Siegel Radio community, rsrlinks.com/HBOD, Household Board of Directors, rsrlinks.com/HBOD. A lot of good stuff in there. We put some articles in there yesterday, I think it was, on divorce, umbrella policies. We've got some estate planning topics that are going to be going in there. We might even ambush our friend Travis and see if he can put some commentary for us in there about our military men and women on how to help them, but we'll talk about that. But you can get that for free. And let's see what the markets are doing today. We've got the S&P 500 is now down 32.5. 10-year Treasury is down 3 basis points, 4.12. We like to see that. And the mortgage bond, that's up 5 basis points. Not a whole lot going on right there. What's driving the market? Not a whole heck of a lot, because we don't get any real data. Now, today we may get a little bit of activity in the market, and we'll see how much realism comes out and how much fabrication comes out, because we've got 4 Fed Reserve members, open market committee members are speaking today. We'll see if they have anything that is market moving. But we did get a report from Cotality, private sector. Cotality reported their home price insights for the month of August, showing that home values declined by 0.3%. They're still up 1.3% year over year, which is a slight deceleration from 1.4% in July. But this was for August, before rates fell in September, and ICE reported that home values rose as a result. On the positive side, here's the biggie. Cotality forecasts that home values will rise 4% over the next 12 months. We like that idea, and that's giving us some indication that maybe if interest rates go down, that could be the issue right there. Now, think about this. If home prices go up 4% as they suggest, if someone were to buy a $500,000 home and that home is going up $20,000, think about that. If they put 10% down, that's $50,000. You have $20,000 in appreciation. If my math is correct, $20,000, $50,000 to carry the one. That's about a 40% return on your equity. Yahoo! Yeah, we like that idea. So again, 4 Fed speakers today. While that is normally insightful, it's unclear how much value will be delivered, as there is a lack of economic data to comment on. ADP did still release their employment report showing 32,000 jobs lost. Ow! Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if Fed members still believe the labor market is solid or stable, as many have said. Speaking of the labor market, the BLS jobs report, that would also be in Ron Siegel radio terms, the BS report, was not released last Friday, but the Carlyle Group released their forecast for what the jobs report would have shown. They estimate that there would have been only 17,000 jobs created in September, which would have been even less than the 22,000 in August. Ow! Yeah, not good. So we're going to be watching all that for you. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends, rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. So, Ron Siegel Radio, where we help homeowners and first-time buyers make smarter decisions about their finances, retirement, and community impact. Today's guest knows what it means to serve on the battlefield and on the financial front lines. Retired U.S. Navy Senior Chief, real estate leader, and author of Military Money and More. Travis Winfield is here to share how military families can build wealth, leverage their VA benefits, and transition into civilian life financially strong. We have a powerful, practical conversation. Welcome, Travis.
Thanks for having me, Ron. Of course, man. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. So let's talk. What do you got going on? You've always got so much going on that now you've got a new endeavor.
Yeah, well, if my wife had anything to say about it, it wouldn't be as much. But no, this is my passion project, man. I've been very blessed. As you know, you've known me over the years. I used to have the Winfield group and still do. But I was very blessed to turn that over to my son, Sebastian Winfield, last year. And so he's running that team, and that freed me up to follow my new passion. And it's always been my passion, is to build a national real estate brand that was devoted to serving those who've served in our military. And so that's where Military Operated Real Estate was born. Interesting.
So, and now, and we're not going to talk a lot about it today, but you've got a new book coming out as well.
Do.
And tell me a little bit, just to give us, we've only got 7 people listening this month. So I know you're going to come back in November when it was released, but give us just a little hint.
Well, it actually feeds into the company, right? So the idea is that if you look at the statistics out there, less than 12%, about 12% of all eligible veterans and active duty members have ever used their VA home loan. Okay, which is a travesty in its own right. But through my research, I discovered that probably about 80% of our military are just not financially sound to be able to purchase a home. Therefore, they cannot live the dream of, they defended our country, they deserve to own a piece of it, right?
Sure.
So unfortunately, a lot of it just has to do with financial literacy. Our military does a lot of amazing things in this country, but unfortunately, that's just not what we're focused on. We're focused on the warfighting capability.
So, something many of us believe, I love what our Secretary of War had to say the other day, that get rid of all the woke stuff and let the men and women of the military go out and do what they're trained to do.
Absolutely.
But something, they're missing a part there, because I think that they do need to get that culmination, transition.
Well, I think the real issue is that if you think about it, yes, we need to focus on the warfighter, but to focus on the warfighter, we got to take care of the home base first, right? And the number one cause of the 60% divorce rate we have in our military is due to financial issues. So my goal with the book was to, instead of, so many people focus on, oh, well, come to the VA home loan seminar and let me teach you about your benefits. Well, great. But let's focus. That's just a symptom. Why don't we focus on the disease? And that's financial literacy. And so my goal is to take that 12% to 100%. And that's what the book does. It takes you from the grassroots all the way up to, and as you can see, MORE is our acronym for Military Operated Real Estate. So our goal is to take them from basics of budgeting and everything else all the way to the realizing home ownership.
Something, and I wonder, because, and I just speak my mind out loud, right? Sometimes it gets me in trouble, many times. But, we have way too many men and women of the military committing suicide every year.
22 a day.
And I've heard 22. I heard that it went even higher than that, but use 22. It's still too many.
Correct.
Right? 1 is too many. 22 is 22 times that.
Yes.
Right? But I wonder if part of that could be solved if there was a more focused path or conversion going from military life to civilian life. and then taking that financial stress off the table. I
Yeah.
think that could help.
It absolutely could help. That is a huge contributor to not only divorce, but you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, a lot of service members, again, statistically, roughly 22 a day, do take their life. And a huge contributor is financial stress. So our goal is really to just help solve that. So that's, and again, the whole concept of the book is to feed into our company, which is there to design to be a one-stop shop for all things real estate for our service members.
Yeah, but something it's to me, when I've listened to you talk, the real estate part is kind of a side issue, right? Because when you're talking about financial literacy, now you're getting into real estate, of course, is a major issue. It's our largest asset, our largest liability, but also dealing with debt and retirement and savings and, auto insurance and all the other things that go into it. It's more than just a house.
It is.
And I'll be the first to say it. I get frustrated because I've talked to a lot of military people and they're going out and leasing a piece of property. It kills me, right? I have never served, but I did study about the VA home loan. I've gotten certified as a veteran mortgage advisor, and it costs less for a member with benefits, with VA benefits, to own a house than it does to get for their lease. But people don't understand that.
Well, a lot of it's just knowledge. They just don't know. They don't think they can, right?
Right.
'Cause remember, you don't join the military to get rich, Ron. Let's be real.
Sure.
Okay. You can Google our paychecks.
It's all right there.
Yeah. It's not the greatest, but it's enough to get by. But what the thing is that a lot of people just think they can't. But a lot of people don't realize the power of compound interest, for example. That is such a lost concept that just does not resonate with the warfighter. So like if you could just take somebody, just use an example, take $200 a day. They never thought about owning a home, but if you just saved $200 a day from age like 20 to 30.
200 a day?
Or no, excuse me, a month. 200 a month. Excuse me,
200
a month.
a day is a lot.
I apologize. Yeah, 200 a month. And if you do 200 a month, and I tell people like, let's put that in perspective. Can you easily blow $200 in a night going out to party?
Sure.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So I tell everybody that's in the service, like sacrifice one night a month. That's all I'm asking.
Right.
Then you could take that $200 and believe it or not, you can become a millionaire by the time you retire by just sacrificing that one night a month.
Maybe sacrifice those Starbucks.
Right. Oh, that's a huge one,
right?
isn't it?
I mean, there's a lot of people that have an $8 or $10 a day habit. You can sacrifice that every other day and you're doing way better as well. We're going to continue our conversation with Travis Winfield when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. The down payment myth. We're going to talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Quick question. What's the minimum down payment needed to buy a home? If you said 20%, you're not alone. But you'd be wrong. And that wrong answer might be costing you thousands I am Ron Siegel, certified liability advisor, helping families build wealth through strategic debt management. Here's something that surprised me. According to First Home IQ, only 8 out of 100 people know that the actual minimum down payment required for a conventional home loan, think about that, 92% of the people get this wrong. Most folks say 10% or 20%. I hear it all the time in my office. Someone comes in, they've been saving for years, putting off home ownership because they think they need this massive chunk of cash. The reality is as little as 3%, unless you're one of the members of our military. Yes, you get it for zero, and only because you earned it, not because it's a gift. Now, I'm not saying 3% is right for everyone. Strategy beats rate always. And the same thinking applies to down payments. What's right depends on your situation, your cash flow, and your overall financial picture. But here's what bothers me. People are delaying home ownership, missing out on building wealth because they're chasing a number that doesn't even exist as a requirement. Worked with a couple last month. They've been saving for 3 years, had about $15,000 set aside. They thought they needed another 2 years to hit 20% on the home they wanted. When I showed them they could move forward now, you should have seen their faces. They're in their new home today. What does this mean for you? First, stop letting misinformation keep you on the sidelines. Second, understand that the down payment conversation is just one piece. We need to look at your household budget, your cash reserves. What makes sense for your safety, liquidity, and return? Have you got key steps yet? rsrlinks.com/key steps. It's simple. It'll tell you when you're mortgage ready. RSR, it's going to look at your credit. It's going to give you a simulator on your credit. It's monitoring and watching your credit for ID theft. It's going to help you with watching your assets. It's going to tell you a 4-point plan to say, are you ready to buy today? What do you need to do? If you're putting off home ownership because you think you need 20% down, let's talk. Visit rsrlinks.com/certified buyer to learn about our certified buyer program and see what's actually possible for your situation. We'll actually even give you a certified buyer pass to put in your Apple Wallet or your Android wallet. So when you walk into an open house, a builder, anywhere, you just show them that QR code in your Apple Wallet, just as if you were going to a concert, and it's right there for you. Remember, strategy beats rate always, and knowing the real numbers, that's where strategy starts. That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation, we are chatting this morning. Travis Winfield is with us. The More Group is the latest venture, and I guess you should call it a school, huh, Travis?
Yeah, and by the way, we dropped the group. It's just military operator real estate, but our acronym is MORE.
Oh, MORE, okay.
And our tagline is expect more from your agent. So yeah, so one of the things that that I discovered is that, we have all these brokerages out there, but let's be real. The consumer doesn't care what brokerage you're at. They care about the agent themselves.
Absolutely.
And so
you could go from company A to company B to company C, and you're still Travis.
Exactly. And so our goal was to now figure out a way that we could sit there and standardize this industry called real estate. We have in real estate, for example, we have an 87% failure rate in the first 5 years
of agents
that get out of it and just aren't, or even part-time, who aren't really focused on it. So my goal was to, since we're talking about agents that are helping with our veterans with probably the largest financial decision of their lives, our goal was to standardize the expertise that you're receiving from these agents. Now, I'd love to tell you about everybody in the industry, but I'm just focused on believe it or not, 6.5% of all licensed agents are veterans, not including spouses and dependents. So what we want to do is train them so that way it's kind of like McDonald's. If you get a Big Mac in McDonald's, it's the same Big Mac you get in San Diego. So we want to know that if you're a veteran or active duty, you're PCSing from one duty station to another.
Oh, wait, you got to back up. Because I'm a simple guy, PCSing.
Permanent change of station. So
Okay.
when you have military members moving from one location to the other, that's what it is. And by the way, that right there is an example of why you must be military affiliated to walk in our front door. Because if you're listening and you're a veteran, you know what PCS is. I don't have to explain that. And so every one of our agents has to walk a mile in a veteran's shoes before they can be in our organization. So that's just the prerequisite.
And that's a great part of it, because I know when I got trained as a veteran mortgage advisor, that was the first thing they said is, if you don't know the acronyms,
Right.
don't even get in the business.
Exactly. And so that's the prerequisite. Then
And you've got a million acronyms.
I know we do. I could probably have an entire conversation just using acronyms. Henceforth, why military operated real estate is more. But the idea, though, is that now, once you go through, you have to get certified with us and become a more certified agent. Then and only then. And by the way, you also have to prove that you've had at least 3 transactions with veterans before you complete your certification. That way, I can verify you're military affiliated, have the right training, and have the experience to serve before you serve our veterans in our organization.
That's amazing. And you know something? I think the as a lender, I deal with a lot of real estate agents. As a radio host, I deal with a lot of real estate agents.
Of course.
And it's amazing when you look and you talk and you see how few of them even know the general part of real estate correct.
Correct.
No less what it takes, for a military family who might be PCSing from one area to another. And well, I can only use my benefit once. Not quite true.
That's it. Yeah, there's so many benefits that serve our military. As a matter of fact, that's one of the unique things about our agents too. We don't just teach them how to buy and sell real estate for our veterans. We teach them how to be benefit experts for our veterans. So let me give you a quick story.
Cool.
One time I was at a listing appointment going to sell a house, and I'm like, well, why are you selling? And their answer to me kind of moved me. They're like, well, we have our kids, they're getting ready to become college age, and we have no idea how we're going to pay for college. And we just don't know what to do. So we got to sell to be able to liquidate some of our assets and go move to where they're going to go to school. I'm like, well, you're a disabled veteran, right? He's like, well, yeah. I was like, did you know that your kid in California can go to any Cal State or UC school for free? Ron, you've never seen them shift where they just start bawling in front of me because I get goosebumps every time I talk about it. Because this family, all I did was provide them a small piece of information and that they had no clue about. And now, guess what? I talked them out of them selling a house. Because they didn't need to sell it anymore.
Sure.
Because now they had the benefits that they needed. And that's okay. Earned. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We're about mission before commission. That is what our mantra is.
Now, are you only doing this in California? Or are you doing it? Can somebody become a certified agent somewhere else?
We are a national network. Now we're officially launching to the public in November. But right now, I've just finished certifying 30 agents in key locations around the country. So everywhere there's military concentration, we will have a more certified agent available to the consumer. That's why I haven't launched yet, because I got to train these guys and get them ready before I can launch to the public.
Now, when you say to the public, it's not open to the public. It's only open to veterans, right?
No, it's actually not. Just all of our agents are only military, but they can help anybody.
Right, they'll be able to help anybody.
Exactly. So if there's a civilian that wants a more certified agent because they served and they just want to support, cool, you can hire them. We're not restricted to who we serve, but it's like a doctor, right? Any doctor can prescribe you medication, but if you need heart surgery, are you going to hire a dermatologist?
Why
no.
not?
So in our world, any agent can help you buy or sell a home, but we specialize with serving our veterans.
Gotcha.
All
and
right.
you know something, and the things when I get the opportunity to chat with you, I learn so much because there's so many benefits out there. I focused on the lending side, and I've never served, so I appreciate every man and woman who has. But the idea of how you can challenge your disability rating.
Yes.
Right. I mean, I've heard that from you. You talk about that. And I'm sure that the certified agents will understand that better than anybody once you're done.
And that's just it. We are a resource expert, not just real estate agents. And that's what I wanted to make, makes our agents different. And remember, our agents, we're broker agnostic, so it doesn't matter which brokerage you're at. We're here to just make sure that you are specializing and you know what you're doing when it comes to serving our military. That includes, and I can talk about this more, this will be a little bit more. I'm really looking to also solve the employment crisis amongst our spouses. And I could talk about that with our More Ambassador program. Did you know that our military spouses have a 30% unemployment rate?
Wow.
Think about that. These service members, not only are they there to serve fight our country, they're family members. Every time that you got to think, they get moved every 3 years. So think about how difficult it is for the spouses to maintain employment when you got to move every 3 years.
So you've got to work for either a national company or have some sort of a telemarketing job or something like that, which is challenging.
Exactly.
And the other part of it is, and I've, because of doing the veteran loans, I understand that the spouses, sometimes they might have a as tough a job or tougher job than the active member.
It is.
Because they wake up every day not knowing if they're going to get that knock on the door.
And that's exactly it. And that's why, so that's where we have what's called the More Ambassador program. And that's for those spouses and active duty members who cannot work real estate full time. We're trying to get them to get licensed so that way they can then turn around and just be referral agents and brand ambassadors and educators of our veterans. But then they can still stay at home and raise babies and take care of things, but now still get income to supplement their household income.
Well, and I have a friend of mine that she used to be on the show a lot, that what she ended up doing is becoming a transaction coordinator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so you get educated, and you can be a transaction coordinator, just like a lot of us work on Zoom or things like that. You can have somebody anywhere.
Yeah. Well, and that's the exciting part about what we're doing and why we pivoted to a training company, because we're even in development of a financial literacy training course where it's going to be open to the consumer. So this is not just about training the agents. This is also going to be about training the consumer, i.e. the veteran, that they can come and take our class if they may not be ready now to buy a home, but they can take our class and it'll put them on the road, on the path to home ownership, whenever that may be.
Love it, because there's a lot of people out there that are getting bad guidance. In fact, I will share with you, because it's personal and I get personal on Ron Siegel Radio. So one of my kids, they're a relative of theirs suggested they go and go through the Dave Ramsey course.
Mm-hmm.
And I will share with you, some of the things Ramsey says is good. Some of them make absolutely no sense. A 15-year mortgage for somebody in California, you're going to be waiting a lifetime until you can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got another friend of mine, a senior, makes me look young. He was just telling me that his credit card got hacked. He only had one. Try living 8 days without a credit card, Mr. Ramsey. I wonder how much he says that he does or how much it is that he sells. Right. Just throwing that out there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. More with Travis Winfield when we come back. We're going to talk about getting educated. How do you become more certified if you have served in our military? All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today is going to be very, very short because I talk too much and I want to talk to Travis more. So Borrow Smart. If you're thinking about buying a house, if you're thinking about living more than the next 6 months, you should get a free subscription to Key Steps. Free to you, not me. rsrlinks.com/keysteps. Monitor your credit. If you're going to buy a car, you're going to buy a house, you're going to get anything on leverage with credit, you need to make sure your credit score is maximized. If you use the internet, if you buy on Amazon, if you buy anything online, there is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, any of those, there's a chance you could get your identity stolen. Well, Key Steps, monitor your identity. Anytime your credit report is run, you get a notification. Your budget, you need to know about it. It's right there. Got to know about that one as well. So all of those things are all part of Key Steps. Get it, rsrlinks.com/keysteps. rsrlinks.com/keysteps. That's the Borrow Smart segment brought to you by gethomeselect.com, gethomeselect.com. Continuing our conversation, Travis Winfield is with us. We are talking about more certified and maybe even more, because how about if you're a member of the community and want to learn about some of these things? But Travis, before we went in the earlier segment, we talked about my assertion that maybe some of the problems we have with the suicide rate of the men and women of the military is that, or post-military, is the transition from military life to civilian life. And, you know, you go from getting orders every day to do this and that, and I don't understand all of it because I've never served, to saying, good luck, and we'll see you later, and have a good life. You know, how are you going to earn a living? How are you going to do all these things? You've got a program that you're coming out with as part of more that might help with that as well, maybe in your last 6 months of duty.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this is what I'm really excited about. So with more, we don't want to just be a brand connecting our, consumer or veterans to our more certified agents, but we also want to help them get into the business. So for example, there's an incredible program with the Department of Defense or War that's called SkillBridge. And what SkillBridge is—
You have to change the terminology in your book now?
Right? I might.
Your book's not even out, it's outdated.
Yeah, I think that I don't think I mentioned Department of Defense in it. So, but I do talk about SkillBridge. And what SkillBridge is an incredible program that allows service members who are within 6 months of transitioning out of the service, where they can go and actually basically do an internship with the professional company that they're looking to transition to out of the service. So in other words, they get a running start for the last 6 months, and they still get all their pay and benefits of being on active duty, but instead of reporting to their command, they're reporting to the company. And so we are a national SkillBridge approved company, so that if you're anywhere in the country, we can actually sponsor you to go through SkillBridge and work in real estate and work on getting your license and everything else while you're still on active duty.
Wow.
Yes. And that's huge. But then it doesn't stop there. So a lot of people have a misconception that with military education benefits, like we've all heard about the GI Bill, for example, right? And the big misconception is that you have to go to college to use that GI Bill. Well, in fact, all the education benefits like the VOC Rehab, Chapter 31, GI Bill, Chapter 33, or even the Dependents Education Assistance Program, Chapter 35, you can, use
Chapter
these.
35, when you say that, is that part of your book, or is that part of the government?
I'm sorry, it's part of the government.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a law that's out there
Okay.
that supports the education benefits of our military members. And so now you can actually, right now we're only in California, but we're working on a national approval. But you'll be able to, let's just say in California, let's say you had a service member who just got out, got their license. Once they get licensed, they can actually come work for one of our companies and actually get a housing stipend for up to 18 months while we teach them to build their business. The number one reason why agents fail in the business, because they don't have income while they're waiting to build a business. So this gives them that safety net of income while we teach them to build their business. And by the time they're done with their program and they're certified, now they built it up and they don't need that income anymore.
You know something, that's an amazing bridge. And think about that, what that would do for someone's mental state of mind.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? I mean, because you used to be, the one thing I've learned about military people is, number one, they'll never ask for help. They're more than happy to help their brother or sister, but they're generally not going to ask for help themselves. But if they go through this program, now they can be that bridge to helping others. And, if you've got a stable income and you've got financial security and you've got this education and you've got a new mission, where's the problem mentally?
Well, exactly. And you've also think of it like this, even if you go to college and you get a degree, you still got to go get a job after you get to college. With our program, you're kind of already building your own business while you're getting taught how to build it.
Right.
So that's kind of the difference. You're getting a real running head start. So we basically can have somebody get them to use their benefits for a total of 24 months between transitioning out of the military and then once they're licensed.
Think about that concept. I mean, you don't get it. You can't do, no one else gets that benefit. And there's a lot of benefits that are great for the veterans because they've earned it. But I want to give you, we've only got a few minutes left. I'm going to give you some quick questions, quick answers.
Sure, let's go.
PCS moves, stress or opportunity? One word answer.
Stress.
What's the biggest myth about the VA home loan?
that you can only use it once.
Number one financial mistake most young service members make.
Not investing and saving at an early age.
Most surprising lesson you learned writing military money and more.
Wow, the statistics about how much we need this education.
More in one sentence. How does it change real estate for military families?
Gives you a one-stop shop that you can trust when it comes to making the largest financial decision of your life.
Okay, I'm going to give you throw you a layup here. Who influenced your financial journey the most?
Believe it or not, the gentleman that just walked in is waiting outside has been a huge influence on me, and that's Larry Broughton. And we're getting the blessing of getting to meet him in person here as soon as we're done with this show.
Oh, and Larry's been a guest on the show, and you're right. He is an amazing individual. Finish the sentence. Financial freedom for veterans means?
It means education.
Education.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't become financially free unless you know how to get there.
Okay, and then here's one I love talking about. Most rewarding success story you've seen from someone following your blueprint?
I think it was one of the most heartfelt ones as well. It's in my book, actually. So the 15th Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, Russ Smith, is the most senior enlisted guy that you could possibly be. There's only been 17 in the entire history of the Navy.
Wow.
And he's become a dear friend of mine. And he came to my financial literacy class a couple of years ago. And afterwards, he goes, Travis, I've been in serving our military for almost 40 years. And this is stuff that needs to be taught at boot camp with our service members. Get this. He had never purchased a home, never saved money in his whole career because he didn't know, he was only focused on the mission. I'm proud to say that he purchased his first home last year, and that was the biggest success story. If you take it for somebody who you just assume just knows everything that you need to know in life, just did not ever get that little piece of information when it comes to financial literacy, and now he's crushing it. And that's I'm proud about it.
Congratulations. That is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, wouldn't it, and I don't know, again, I've never served. I don't know I have no idea what I'm talking about. But just from a common sense, why couldn't they take an hour a week or an hour a month to give some sort of education to our military men and women?
Make no mistake, there are programs out there. So they have in the Navy, for example, the Fleet and Family Service Center, and they do actually do budgeting classes and all kinds of support to help them do that. They also have at your command, the command financial specialist. And again, I'm speaking Navy terms. Every branch has its own flavor of this. The problem is that, you know, they kind of keep it so basic. You think about this, the person teaching at Fleet and Family Service Center is not independently wealthy. They are not financially free. So they only know the basics. So we basically had the blind leading the blind on teaching this financial education. Whereas when I got out of the military, like Larry's a great example that blew my mind of what we didn't know. You live in a bubble in the military. And so when you get out and you get exposed to all the different possibilities, oh my gosh, it's just so much out there that's just not taught.
Overwhelming.
It is.
Are the men and women required to go take some of these courses?
No, it's all voluntary.
Yeah, see, and
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I take that back. If you get into trouble, like if you get a letter of indebtedness, then they make you go see the command financial specialist to get you on a budget. But even that budget is not all encompassing.
yeah, and see, you know something, to me, the men and women, they're young people for the most part, right? And would I have gone and taken a financial literacy class or gone to the local bar?
Right?
I would have gone to the bar when I was
absolutely, man. And I've made every financial mistake you can make, Ron. I can assure you. And that's what's all in my book. And that's what my goal is with this book, is just to show you that nobody's perfect. I've talked about every mistake I've made in my life financially and a lot of other things.
I need a bigger book if that was the case.
Right. But it all leads to where we've accumulated today. And that's what I'm excited about.
Well, we're going to have you come back and talk about the book when it comes out. And as always, thanks for coming in. I appreciate what you're doing for the men and women of the military. Appreciate your service, because people like me who went on a rant like I did to start the program couldn't do that if it wasn't for the men and women of the military who give us that right for free speech each and every day.
Well, thank you for being somebody worth fighting for.
Thank you. As always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.